Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to my first video. This channel here, it's gonna be a little bit about myself, how I started coding. I'm gonna be helping you guys, and you guys are gonna be helping me too. And I hope that it works well. And yeah, let's go. So here, as my first video, I decided to, of course, start with something simple. What I'm gonna start here, it's gonna be the most important thing for who wants to, start coding. And of course, if you want to start coding, you're gonna have contact with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Those are the web. Of course, I'm talking about web development. Okay, so those are the most important things that you should know. But today we're gonna start with JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript is the logical language that is together with the web development. So when you see a website, so for example, we go to google.com. Okay, when you see a website here, it's gonna be basically at the end of the day, it's gonna be basically HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, of course we can use other languages at the back end or something like this. If you want to build like with frameworks, we're gonna talk about it. But today I just want to talk about JavaScript and how you start, doing your first steps programming. Okay. I don't want to waste a lot of time here explaining for you guys, but there's some things that is really important to start talking. So here I'm not with VS Code right now. I'm not using VS Code right now. I'm just using GSBean. You can look for like other ones, but I like JSBean. It is for free. You just type JSBean on Google or jsbean.com and you can get something like that you can run your codes, and it's gonna work, Basically, we have a language, and that language translates for the computer that works with binary language what you want, so of course the computer is not the same. Every day we're developing new things, we're building new things, and it's not different with languages. So here we have JavaScript, and to start coding JavaScript we cannot do as we want. For example, I want to put on the console, I want to display my name here. If I put like Leonardo here, and if I run it, it's not gonna work, of course. So there is some things that we have to start. The most important things when you're starting learning a language is these things here that I'm gonna tell you, of course. So okay, the first ones are how to print. So in order to have my name here, I have to do some steps. So okay, I want to print my name, I want to display my name. So here there is of course a syntax that we have to follow, and with JavaScript is console.log. And then here we're gonna use this quotation marks to explain for the language that is not a variable. If we have a variable, would not have this. We're gonna print a string. When we use quotation marks, that means string, so Leonardo. Okay, and then we can run it. Okay, it worked, has a string, and the string is Leonardo. Okay, before that we have the variables. I think this one is the most important one. So anything that you have that you want to print, you can make it here. This the second most important one. I don't know if there is like a sequence, but I'm just saying. Another thing that is important is the variable. So to declare a variable with JavaScript, in other language it's gonna be different. That's what I'm saying, but the logic is the same. So you have variables in other language too. You have the console.log in other language too. So to declare a variable here, you're gonna use var, and then you have the name of the variable. So in this case, I'm gonna make it like name, and then we make it equals, and then we can make it in my case Leonardo, my name. And how am I gonna see if that's working? I just type it here, name, run, and it worked. It's the same thing. After that, you guys already saw, but we have here the data types. Okay, so the data types, when you're coding with JavaScript to make like comments, you just press command and the slash. It's gonna make like comments. Of course, you're gonna use that for other things. If you have Windows, it's just Control, if I'm not wrong, and the slash. And then I'm gonna make it here data types. If I don't make this comment here, it's gonna break my code. Okay, they're gonna think that it's a code. Okay, let me make it a comment. Data types. Okay, we have data types. We have, for example, the string. We just use it. Okay, I'm gonna comment this to string, and then I'm gonna show you guys a string. Okay, var string. I am a string. So you guys can see that string is everything that you want to write. Okay, let's console log it. Okay, I am a string. Okay, really good. We have numbers. In this case, it's gonna be integer. In this case, it's gonna be a number. Okay, it's gonna be a number, int, and then we can run, and you guys can see the number here. We have float too. Float is equal to a number, but the float is a little bit different. You can make it like this. So float run. Okay, float, it worked too. And then we have some other things. We have more. I don't want to touch with the other ones, but for now we have arrays. Okay, and then array is gonna be when we have array, we're gonna use this thing here that is a square bracket, and then inside of this thing here we can make like an array with numbers and strings, and we can put anything that we want. So for example, in this case here, I'm gonna store the variables here. So string, the variables that I already have, int, and that's how you make it. That's how you make an array. What happens if we make a console log here? I am a string 12, 13.4. Those are variables, and those variables has like a result, and it's gonna be the result every time. Also, we have the object. Okay, when we work with Python, I remember first language I learned was Python. I remember we call it a dictionary, if I'm not wrong. But the cool thing about object is this one here. We have the object, we have the key, and we have the value. And we can console log it. Key and value. Usually the key is not it's just a key, and the value is like, can be like integer, string, float, anyway, anything. It can be I think it can be array too. It can be, yeah. This thing here is the basic of that JavaScript. With these things here, we can start building some things. It's gonna be working well. But when we start building logic, we have something that's gonna make everything better for you. So what is that called? It's called for loops. For loops. Okay. Why is for loops important for you? It is important because, for example, we have a string. I'm gonna start with a string. Okay. For how you build the for loop is basically like this. Okay. To make a for loop, you're gonna type for, and then you start var I equals 0. Then you guys will understand that after. And then I is less, then I'm gonna make it arrays Oh, I'm gonna make it 3, okay? I is less than 3, and then I plus plus. Okay, you guys are going to understand for loops right now. I'm just gonna make like this. I think it's gonna be better. Sorry if it was like kind of small. I'll try to fix it. Okay, for var I equals 0. Okay, for loops here. For var I equals 0. This one's gonna be the first thing that you're gonna use on the on the for loop. It is not supposed, like, you don't have to use this every time, but it's good to make it like this. You're gonna make the variable I that it's gonna be like the index or something like this, and then this one's gonna be the condition. I know it looks like a heart or something like this, but yeah, when I is like, okay, I 0 here, then the second thing is when I is still less than 3, it's gonna run the code, this code here. Okay, so run this code, and then after the code is like, after you run the code, it's gonna be I plus plus. I plus plus, what that means is it means I plus 1, you know, I plus 1, I plus plus. It's gonna be adding 1 every time, you know. Okay, okay, we have 3, and then for var I equals 0, I is less than 3, and then I plus plus, we want to console.log here I less than 3. I'm just gonna, I don't have anything to do right now. Okay, I don't want to console log this thing here anymore. I'm fine with that. Okay, it's gonna run 3 times, okay? Why is that gonna run 3 times? Okay, again, I here, if we think here right now, let's think with the for loop. I is equal to 0 here, okay? And then after I is equal to 0, if we go forward, we're gonna see we're gonna see this condition here. Is I less than 3? I is less than 3. So it's true. So this thing here is true. And then we go and run this code here right now. And after we run this, when we get at the end of this thing here, we're gonna add I. So I now is equals to 1. Okay, we console log the first time here, and then I is equals to 1. We go back here, I is not equals to 0 anymore, it's equals to 1. Okay, is I less than 3? It's true. And then we're gonna console log this again. We got the console log here, and I plus plus gonna be 2. Okay, I is not 1 anymore, I is 2. I is it less than 3? It's true. We're gonna console log again for the last time, and then we're gonna pass through I plus plus. It's gonna be 3 right now. I equals to 3. I is I less than 3? It's not true, so it's false right now. Okay, I is still 3, but it's false, and you know, it's not gonna run this code here. Okay, so I think for now, those are the basic things about, JavaScript. Another thing that I want to have and I want to do with you guys here today is it's gonna be algorithms, but we have to go a little bit forward with the language. But I'm gonna get an easy one. Pause the video and try do that by yourself. Okay, so here, this one is one exercise, and this one is another one, another one, another one, and we're gonna be doing all of them together here. Okay, we have a variable x, and it's gonna be equals to 4. We want to console log that. It's gonna be the variable. Okay, we're calling here, it's a variable. There is no quotation marks or something like this. it's a variable. When we have a word and there is no quotation marks here, it's a variable, okay? There's no square brackets, it's still a variable, okay? What is going to be the output? Okay, the output's 4, right? X is equals 4. We are console logging it. Okay, that's the answer. Now it's a new thing for you guys. So if you guys don't know nothing about JavaScript, this one is the first video that you're watching. This one's gonna be good for you. It's something that we're gonna call the index. We can use that for strings as well. So we want the first term of the array here, okay? That's basically what that means, okay? Okay, variable array, we have 3 items here, and it is asking for to console log the index 0 of all these items here. So what is that saying? Okay, this thing here means the index. We want the index here for the array. So we have the array name here, and we have the index, and we have the number here. It can be a variable as well. 0, but we don't have 0. Do we have? Of course we have. It's a tricky question, but it's basically like this. When we are counting the index of the array or something like this, we start with 0. So this one's gonna be the 0. The second one is gonna be the 1. So let me just make it like type it for you. This one's gonna be 0. This one's gonna be 1, and this one's gonna be the number 2. Okay, so I know it's 3, but now it's something that you guys have to keep in mind. It's very important. So the array of the array of 0, the 0 index of the array, it's gonna be hello. Okay, let's go to the second one. Another new thing that's gonna be good, guys. If you guys, again, if it is the first video that you guys are watching about JavaScript, it's gonna be cool that you guys pay attention right now. Okay, we have a variable called array2. Okay, I cannot call array again because we already have an array here, but okay. And this array2 has some elements inside, and it is asking for the length. Okay, with the word, we already know a little bit about it, but let's just make sure here. When we talk about the length, it's about the length of the array. We can ask about the length of for example, a string, okay? The length of the string here is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's gonna be 5, okay? What about the length here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the length here is 6, okay? Okay, so we have a variable that is called number1, and the number2, the variable called number2, and the number1 is equals to 10. It's a number, is an integer, and here the number2 is an integer 2, and let me just erase that, and it is asking for a console log. Console log the number1 plus the number2. Okay, some people can think that it's gonna be, the console log is gonna be like this. Yes, if it was like strings, if it was strings, it would be like that. But we have numbers, and the language knows it is numbers, so it's gonna be basically 50 because it's gonna be numbers. They're gonna sum each other, and we have the result. So here we have everything here, and we want to see if we are right. Okay, again with the results, I had a problem with this one here, but now everything is fine. The first one, let's run it. Number 4, it's right. The second one, hello, it's right. The third one, 6, it's right. And the last one, 50, it's right. So yeah, that's basically what we need for today. I'll like back in the comments, I'll make I'll try to make like a file for you guys with a lot of questions and that things that you guys can train by yourself, and like some questions like this that you just copy and place it here on the GS bin. It's gonna work, and you just, to see the answer, you just have to run it. Okay, So yeah, I appreciate you guys that, you know, took some time to learn a little bit with me. If you know a little bit about JavaScript, if you know a little bit about other language, and just showed up just to see if you're still right, these things here are the basic of the basics. We'll be touching like advanced things, but for now, this one is gonna be the most important things that we'll be talking at the beginning. Okay. I really appreciate you guys here, and I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you very much.